Welcome to the Roy Morgan Weekly Update, and today we have the reactions from Australians to the announcement of changes to the Stage 3 tax cuts, and the results aren't positive for the government. Support for the Labor government is down 2% to 50.5%, now just ahead of the coalition on 49.5% on a two-party preferred basis. If a federal election were held today, this result would mean a hung parliament, with independents and minor parties holding the balance of power. Government confidence plunged 9 points to 76, to its lowest for over 2 months. This is the largest dive in government confidence since the Reserve Bank last raised interest rates in early November last year. Government confidence is at only 76 because more Australians say the country's heading in the wrong direction, 56%, than the right direction, only 32%. Consumer confidence is also down this week. ANZ Roy Morgan consumer confidence is down 1.9 points to 82.5, its lowest level so far this year, and well below the neutral level of 100. Consumer confidence has now spent a full year, 52 weeks, below the level of 85, the first time this has ever happened. Inflation expectations were down slightly this week, by 0.1% to 5.1%, and have now been in a narrow band from 5 to 5.3% for 8 standard weeks since mid-December. Australians now expect annual inflation to be 5.1% over the next 2 years. This remains well above the official ABS figure of 4.3% for the year to November 2023. The ABS will release their December monthly and quarterly inflation figures later this week. The results are likely to show a further decline in official inflation. And if so, this will take the pressure off the Reserve Bank to raise interest rates further. The fact inflation expectations are now significantly higher than the official figures is no surprise, considering petrol prices, that very visible sign of costs and prices. The retail petrol price has now spent a record 29 weeks, nearly 7 months above $1.80 per litre, and was up over 5 cents per litre this week as the traditional holiday period ended. Now, mortgage stress. Roy Morgan's the only company to measure mortgage stress every month, and the latest mortgage stress figures are up slightly on a month ago, but still well below the highs reached later of last year. After 2 months of easing in mortgage stress, by the end of December, 30.3% of all mortgage holders were at risk of mortgage stress, an estimated 1,527,000 mortgage holders, significantly below the high reached in September of 2023. In addition, 19.8% of mortgage holders were considered to be extremely at risk, equivalent to almost 1,964,000 mortgage holders. The uptick in mortgage stress in December came after the Reserve Bank raised interest rates in early November to a 12-year high of 4.35%, and the higher official rates began to flow through to the wider market. Now to New Zealand. The first Roy Morgan poll since the new National-led government was sworn in late November shows Prime Minister Christopher Luxon's three-party coalition still in a strong position, despite a drop in support from immediately after the election. In December, 51.5% of New Zealanders supported the new government, led by National leader Christopher Luxon, down 6.5 percentage points since November, but still ahead. Within the government, support for National was 36%, ACT 9.5%, and New Zealand First 6%. In December, support for the parliamentary opposition was up 6.5% to 42.5%. Support for Labor was 22%, the Greens 15.5%, and the Maori Party 5%. Despite improving, the Roy Morgan New Zealand government confidence rating continued to languish at only 93, well below the neutral level of 100, indicating more New Zealanders still say the country's going in the wrong direction. And that's a wrap. Thanks for your interest this week in Roy Morgan's latest results, and I'll be back next week to bring you the most up-to-date readings on consumer confidence, inflation expectation and voting intention.